Hello and welcome to the Pokémon Teatime, your podcast about Pokémon cards. I am your host, Julian, Mr. Houndu. On Instagram, you can find me at Mr. Houndu.
And I'm Sean, otherwise known as the Pokemon Noob on Instagram.
So welcome to this first episode of the Pokémon Teatime. We're going to discuss about cards, in case you didn't get it, but anything Pokemon really. I don't think we're going to limit ourselves just to Pokemon cards. So I'm Julian. I'm a French guy living in Switzerland. I've been into Pokemon since I was a kid. I played Red and Blue on my Game Boy when they first released in the 90s, the good old 90s. And I've come to collect Pokemon cards since the end of the summer of 2020. And since then I've kept on the fire. I've opened an Instagram page to talk about this, share my best pieces, and we've decided to do this podcast with Sean. Sean, maybe you can give a few words about yourself.
Just like Julian. Well, I'm based in the UK, in London to be exact. But just like Julian, been a long time fan of Pokemon. Watched loads and loads of PokeTube across, the whole of the lockdown period in 2020. Just really, caught the Pokemon collecting bug. Started buying away in the summer of last year. And now, we're in 2021. Looking forward to every single set that's coming our way this year. If only we can get our hands on it. And hopefully throughout these podcast episodes, we'll be able to give you our perspective as an everyday collector and share those loves and frustrations of the hobby.
Yeah, there's a lot of both, really. And just a few words maybe about how we know each other. So Sean and I used to work for the same company. So back in 2017, I think we started working together, 2018, 2019, and a bit of 2020 because you left the company last year. I'm still working for this company. But we kept in touch. Really bonded over Pokemon over the past few months. I encouraged you to create your Instagram page, and you did it, and you got quite a bit of success. And I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe I should do it too.
I'm one for putting myself out there, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to do this. It's going to really fail. And Julian was like, oh, go on, just do it. You've got nothing to lose. So I did it, posted my first picture of one of my Pokemon cards, and the likes started flooding in. And this was like just after the Logan Paul hype. It's just been...
We caught the train at the right time for this.
Yeah. Shall we get into the first topic of today?
Let's go. We have a lot to discuss today. So our first topic of the day is Shining Fates, the most awaited set of the year so far, at least. Are you excited for? Yeah, are you excited for it, Sean?
Can't wait. I have put up as much pre-orders as I possibly can. I have got pre-orders with Game, pre-orders with Chaos cards. I've got pre-orders with Chase games. Every retailer you can possibly think of, I've got a Shining Fates pre-order. I think if I'm successful in getting all of the packs, I should have a total of like 74 packs across all of the different products.
Nice.
But I highly doubt I will get my full allocation. So we can redream.
I think you will get it eventually, but that's the topic. So let's just talk about it right after. So I just wanted to tell you, we're going to have some pin collections. We're going to have a nice ETB. In terms of the cards that are going to come in this set, we are expecting these beautiful gold Eternatus gold cards, black and gold cards. So You didn't have enough Eternatus cards. Here are some more, but this time, really, I think they really look amazing. I actually own these Japanese ones because I just could not resist. I like the design so much. This black and gold, for me, it's just so beautiful. And of course the big boy, the Charizard VMAX, not GMAX, VMAX, the shiny one. Any thoughts on that, Sean?
Yeah, God, who doesn't like a Charizard? And I've been quite fortunate to pull both of the Charizards out of Champion's Path. I also pulled the Charizards out of Darkness Ablaze. So I'm really looking for the home run by pulling this Charizard VMAX shiny in Shining Fates. I just really, really hope I pull this. I really want to complete the set.
74
but
packs.
yeah, I also really love this. Yeah, 74 packs. Who knows? Who knows? It's probably going to be one of those. Right? It can only dream. Can only dream.
You've been lucky so far.
I've been very lucky. Yeah. I think I pulled both Charizards out of Champion's Path within 70 packs. I believe it's on average 1 in 100 packs. So yeah, very lucky.
Yeah.
Also really love these gold cards too. But what I don't get about the gold cards, it's not very system, because what we've seen so far is we've got a Magenta and a Zacian B gold base set Sword and Shield. But then for the rest of the Sword and Shield set, it's basically a gold shiny vault.
Yeah,
there's no other
correct.
Gold cards.
There's a bit of a lack of consistency with the gold cards in the Sword and Shield sets, right? And yeah, it's like so you've had the Magenta and Zacian get their V gold, and now the black and gold are going to be as promos in the special ETBs that are coming in Europe a little bit later than in the US. But if you're watching from the US, you have them already available at your hands right now. Eternatus is not a VMAX, so it didn't get the regular V. Sorry, it didn't get a rainbow card. Sorry, and but the Eternatus VMAX got a rainbow card. So yeah, like there's not really any consistency among the gold cards in the sets, right?
I have to say that Eternatus VMAX rainbow rare is just, I think that's one of my favorite rainbow cards in Sword and Shield. It's a very underrated card, and I think it's going to be one of those cards that people really appreciate in years to come when people look back at the game and look at, it was one of the most iconic Pokemon of the game. So it's definitely one that I think will grow on people in time.
Yeah, and I don't know how I feel about this gold one in particular, because it's a lot of geometric shapes, and I don't know if it's going to look that great compared to the rainbow one, which is popping, very colorful. But anyway, the news today we wanted to talk about was the allocation for Shining Fates in Europe. We got bad news, right?
Yeah, it's not looking good, is it? We've seen lots of people talking about this already. Randolph, one of the prominent UK YouTubers, he also has his own Pokemon shop as well called PokeRev.net. And he put up quite a emotional video about how he feels about the allocation for Shining Fates. And it's just a bit sad really that, the rest of the world really will, well, America will have, we don't know the allocations there, but they're going to have way more stock than the UK and Europe will.
There's Pokemon Japan, there's Pokemon US, and then there's the rest. And unfortunately, we are a bit left behind when it comes to the stocks and allocations and so on. So Randolph made the announcement that he would get 5 to 6% of the products that he ordered from his retailer. No, not retailer, but
supplier.
And the news has been taken and shared among other channels. So that's why I put also a Swiss example here to show that it's going to be the same everywhere in Europe. Really, it's not just the UK. The situation is unfortunate. So it doesn't mean that we're not gonna get the product. It just means that we're going to get them way later than everybody else. On Instagram, it will feel a bit sad for us, right? They are all going to help in the US, and we're going to be still there waiting for something.
It's always the case. Every Pokemon set that comes out, we somehow see the US basically open up booster boxes upon booster boxes worth of cards like a month in advance to our release dates. And it kind of ruins a bit of the fun for us. But going back to that allocation, take it, all of the UK product, all of the English product must be imported into the UK, which means the English card stock for mainland Europe must be even worse than the UK, because obviously the UK is going to get serviced first as an English-speaking nation, and then Europe after that. So it might be an even worse case for you.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me of that. But I think for Europe is a bit of a particular case, because we have the set in English, but we also have the set in French, we also have the set in Portuguese, we also have the set in German. So I don't know where the other versions are printed really, because I don't know if there's any importation for the cards in the other languages. So it might actually be better if you're expecting the cards in French or in German. That might be weird for me, because the allocation might be easier, better in German in Switzerland where I'm living, and so I would be just tempted to buy the product in the language that I'm not collecting. But that's a bit of a weird one. And among the news that were shared, so we've got a few more details about what products would be easier to find than others. So it looks like the pin collections are going to be a little bit easier to find. And I mean, when I say a little bit, I really mean a little bit, because it's, if I remember well from the news that Randolph shared, it was slightly above 10% of what he ordered that would be available. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, he was mentioning that the most desired product, the ETB, the EV promo, will be the worst hit out of all of the products, which is unfortunate. But I think at this rate, anyone would be happy with any Shining Fates product, even the Gala mini tins. I think people would be happy with, as long as they can get their hands on it.
Yeah, I pre-ordered today some more. Actually, I didn't tell you because I'm a bit of a secret buyer, as you know. I pre-ordered the 4 pin collections just to make sure I get something alongside the 3 tins. Not the Shining Fates tin that are arriving, but the new ones with the Mew V and the Slowbro V and the Lucario V, which are just reprints. But it's just so difficult to get our hands on anything right now that I thought well, it's in 2 weeks. It's the 19th of February that it's releasing, so it's maybe a bit more than 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But yeah, let's pre-order now and see what happens. Because I mean, that's all we can do, right? We cannot go shopping, and we can only pre-order things and cross our fingers that we get the actual products. So
yeah, it's suppose we can delve into a bit about what's behind this allocation. Why is it the case that we're only getting such a small amount? And that is down to the fact that at the moment in the UK, ship imports are at max. They're totally bottlenecked, and they're really struggling to get freight off ships fast enough to service the UK and mainland Europe. So yeah, they basically obviously must have missed a scheduled docking in February, which they've had to postpone by a couple of weeks. And what they've done instead is to make sure that the UK and Europe has something for launch. They're flying in a product via air freight into the UK. So that's why it's such a small volume, because obviously with air freight, you can only get so much product onto a plane.
And it's also much more expensive to handle.
Exactly, yeah. Yes, it's definitely a lot more expensive. But the way things are going though in the market, I think people are happy to pay a premium now just to get their hands on product on time. Because if you think about it, with all of the delays in postage, the release date's the 19th, but we probably won't even get the product till a week later because of the postage.
In Switzerland, we just started getting the reprints for Hidden Fates that have been available since I think more than a month already in the US. So just like since a couple of days we have the new tints, and normally the ETBs are on the way. So that just gives you an idea. Like 1 month delay is not to be like, I think it's not underestimating if we say that it's going to be 1 month delay to get things. So yeah,
I think another issue with this allocation, I think it's going to be the story of 2021 with all Pokemon set releases. I don't think this is going to improve this side of the year. I know, I think there's a channel, what's he called? Alpha Investments, and he made a really good video talking through how Pokemon are going to obviously scale their production and distribution. And, we will only see those benefits in 2022 at the earliest. So, yeah, I think it's going to be another tough year getting our hands on any sets.
Yeah. Yeah, 2022, right? Yeah, and hopefully things get a little bit better by 2022 then. But like, yeah, it's a bit of a shame because it's like the year of the 25th anniversary, and we're all excited about the products, and at the end of the day, all that we can do is watch the US get the things first, and actually get also a low quantity, because I think they have announced that the allocation for the US might not fulfill everything that has been ordered either. So we might not be the only one who are going to be frustrated with Shining Fates, but yeah, it's going to be a year when you need to be a bit patient for sure, and it's going to, you will see, like we're going to continue talking about other topics. Maybe we can start into the next one, but like it's going to be an ongoing theme. Patience. So so it's going to be hard for us to get these beautiful cards that we are all looking to get. Another topic here is the YouTube world that is also like throwing oil at the fire, right? We are all having troubles getting our hands on products, and we got all the YouTubers, not only YouTubers but like social media in general, trying to hype up everything. That's what we've noticed recently, right?
Yeah, and there's so many Pokemon YouTube channels out there all around the investment piece, and it's quite scary how they say stuff and how people take it on. So there was one YouTuber recently, he was saying, there's massive growth in booster boxes in sets such as Team Up and Cosmic Eclipse, and he was also talking about Vivid Voltage and basically all of the Sword and Shield era sets. And he was basically saying, buy these now because there's no planned prints for these in the short term. But there might not be, but there's no way the Pokemon Company is going to do one print run of base set Sword and Shield and Vivid Voltage. They're definitely going to reprint these again. It might not be this year, but it's definitely going to be within 18 months and 24 months. And if people go out there thinking, this set is never going to get printed again, start buying booster boxes for £300 or $300, a lot of people are going to be burnt. I think to be a bit sensible with how they listen to these Pokemon investment channels.
Yeah, that's right. I feel like it's a lot about a bit of the fear of missing out, and I mean, realistically, like there's so many products that are supposed to release this year. I can understand the fear, like, oh my god, I have not finished completing my Vivid Voltage set list, and what am I going to do if I cannot get my hands on those products? Well, maybe I should buy some more booster boxes right now where they are still somehow affordable, rather than wait a couple of months and see if they reprint it or not. So it's once again, it's a question of being patient, but yeah, we really need to be like you said, sensible about what money we're spending, and not just listen the influencers who are telling stuff which is true. Like they are not planning on reprinting this sets like in the next month, because they're obviously like focused on all the new releases for February and March. But like they are managing to reprint Hidden Fates. We've seen Hidden Fates in December. They are managing to reprint the Sun and Moon sets, Cosmic Eclipse, sorry, like you just mentioned. So yeah, it's just a question of like, if you cannot find it now, you're gonna find it later for sure. It's not a set. These are not sets that are going to be left aside and never gonna be reprinted for sure. Especially like Vivid Voltage, which just released.
Yeah, just look at XY Evolutions. That set came out 5 years ago, and it had a very recent print run.
Yeah.
For five years on. So I think people just need to be careful with how they spend their money, and it's just driving up prices for everyone, and it's quite frustrating because during this lockdown, one of those things that has like a bit of a hobby to do, and take my mind off work, for example, is to open packs.
Yeah,
and sometimes I just want to even if it's a set I'm not trying to get a master set completion of. I'm keen to just get it and at a reasonable price and open it up. But I was the other day I was looking at not eBay, Amazon, and there was a Unified Minds booster box for £200.
Yeah.
And 6 months ago I would have been like, God, who would be crazy to buy that? Pay no more than £100. But now I'm like looking at it going, £200, that's not so bad. Really, I need to take a step back and go, no, that is insane, really. Like, set is still highly likely to be reprinted at some point. Do I really need to spend this amount of money on a booster box just because these investment channels and scalpers are just inflating the prices in the short term?
Yeah. So we need to be patient. That's once again the conclusion with these. And yeah, like there might be some extra stocks that are going to be available when some of the shops which are not necessarily allowed to sell right now reopen. Like really, I don't think it's worth investing so much money in all the current sets that are running out of print right now, but are going to be reprinted very soon. That leads us to our next topic, which is the singles. We've talked about what's going to release. We've talked about what's already on the market, and now we need to talk about the second-hand market. So let's talk about eBay and the difficulty we have to find good cards on eBay right now.
Yeah, back in last summer, I bought a whole Team Rocket holo set in the space of a few days. There was hundreds upon hundreds of listings, and there was a lot of good quality cards for reasonable prices. But what you find now, so many people are just buying up and cornering the market for these sets. You're only seeing a small number of listings, and most of them, the quality of the cards are really not that great. And so as you see here, a lot of people put like near mint and PSA 9 or PSA 10 question mark. It's just quite funny, really. And
Yeah.
the cards are just not there.
Yeah, when you check the back, it's usually when you cannot make any mistake. It's obvious, like all this whitening, the edges which are damaged and so on. And yeah, I think we've met pretty much the same problem. Like there's less cards available, and there's more people who want to buy them. And sometimes you end up on listings which are having quite a bit of popularity, and at the end of the day, the card is actually not that great.
Yeah, I think that also goes for PSA cards as well. Listened to the first edition podcast the other day, and Tom on that podcast was saying he tried buying a PSA card for a family member for Christmas, and he said he just couldn't find anything. For that poker, and it's quite shocking, but it's true. I think with the sort of backlog of PSA grading, what is on the market is just being snapped up by these scalpers. But then again, who knows? We'll see what happens when the market gets flooded with the hundreds of millions of cards that will come back.
Yeah, exactly. We're a bit in a weird situation right now, where the best cards have been bought, but have not necessarily been graded yet. At least from the people who are planning to sell, and yeah, it's getting harder to find cards in good condition. I also want to mention Card Market, which is the Europe equivalent of TCG Player. So it's a marketplace where you can buy cards sold by individuals, by people like you and me, but also by stores. Here is really like a place where you need to be even more careful, because the appreciation of the near mint or any type of card is really left to the individual themselves, and here you usually don't get too many pictures of the cards that you're going to buy. Here I put the example of a Zekrom full art from the black and white set, and you can see among the, I guess, around 20 cards that you can see right now that are in excellent condition or more, you can only see 5 of them. And yeah, if you take the risk to buy a card which you cannot see a picture of, you might end up with bad surprises. That happened to me for Christmas. I wanted to buy this Zekrom for my little brother, and I bought it in a near mint condition, and that's the card that I got in the end. As you can see, that's what the seller called near mint, and I actually left a bad review, of course, because like this is I cannot even describe this. Like when I saw this, I was horrified, to be honest. It was I was like, am I really going to
turning up in the corners?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening with this card. I guess it's just it's just horrible, honestly. Like when I had to gift that card, lucky me, my brother is not a big collector, so it was not necessarily paying too much attention to the defects of the card, but yeah, and so I left a bad review to the seller, but the seller came back to me and he was like, what is it? That's not true. The card was in good condition. I have pictures. Get a life. Stop annoying people and stuff. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? So I sent these pictures to the seller, actually, to say that he was completely out of his mind, and that the card that he sent was I cannot even say, like, what is it? Is it heavy played? Is it damaged? I don't even know how to describe it. That's not gradable. That's not gradable.
Maybe you're trying to scam it, Julian. Did you swap out the card? Did you have a heavy played version yourself?
Yeah, I could have said that, but. Yeah, but just as a note, like the amount of good cards available on the market right now is very scarce. So if you see also a deal that looks a little bit too good to be true, there's a good chance that you're not going to be too happy with the product that you have in your hands in the end.
Obviously, and just to talk about my own personal experience. with card market is it's the whole a pretty terrible user experience just for e-commerce wise. You're buying something that you can't see, and with Pokemon cards, it's like the most important thing. Every single card is unique. Every single card has its own, imperfections, and you want to assess that for yourself through pictures. And 99% of all listings on Card Market have no pictures. But then when you go and send a message to the seller, can I see the pictures of the Zekrom? Just don't even respond. You either buy it or you don't, and you take that risk.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really poor, to be honest. I don't know how they can't offer a solution that has more pictures, because I think for each listing, a seller can only upload one picture of the card, which is just shocking, really.
Some sellers are doing good. They take the front and the back, and then they put them together, and you can see both sides on the same picture, and that's great. But that's really the minority. I think there's a lot of people who try to trick you and take advantage of the fact that you cannot see the card to send you something that is not as good as you would have expected to find. I would say like there's a lot of honest sellers as well. Like don't be scared of this platform. But really, if you're looking into buying something that is a bit more valuable, and then when I say more valuable, I'm saying like just more than 10 euros. I think it's worth asking the seller for a picture, and if they don't send you a picture of the card, then it's usually a bad sign anyway. Maybe they are just trying to hide it from you. So don't do like me. Don't buy a card like this Zekrom without seeing the picture of it before, and you're going to have a much better experience than me for sure.
Another thing to raise as well for any newbies out there is the fees. If you're not prepared to set up a direct bank transfer into Card Market, you have to pay through PayPal. And if you choose to go through PayPal, I believe you have to pay something like 5% on top of the
correct.
card.
Yeah, but that's because it's a German company, and it's very normal for e-commerce to offer like bank transfer kind of solution. At least in Switzerland it is, and I think in Germany it is as well. You can order, and then after you order, you're supposed to directly send a bank transfer to the company from which you're buying, and it's just if you want it a little faster, you would do that. But like, yeah, it's a bit of I think it's just a different mindset here. I think it's just a cultural difference between you would never do that in the UK, right? When you buy something, you just use your credit card, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That leads us to our next topic, which is also actually very related to what we've been talking right now. It's really the sorry, we forgot about mentioning that we were actually considering buying cards from the US right now.
True, yeah. There's obviously with Brexit happening, every you make on eBay outside of the UK, you have to pay a 20% VAT on top of, which you would do anyway, but prices are obviously inflated because people are charging euros, and you now have to pay as well, a lot of the time, a customs fee when that package enters the UK, and vice versa with Switzerland. It's obviously an issue you've had for many years, but it's a new for the UK with Europe. So yeah, we've been looking towards the US now because we've seen a lot of listings. I don't know, on average, would you say 20-30% cheaper than UK listings?
Just more choice on average. There's
definitely
a bigger selection.
It's just getting that balance of getting the right price, paying for the extortionate postage of like, I think most of the time it's around £20, and then obviously the customs fees on top. But with there being more choice and lower prices, it might be an alternative to more of your cards from the US.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm currently bidding on a card that I cannot find anywhere in Europe right now on a US listing. So fingers crossed I can get it. And yeah, the price is actually quite interesting. So if you add the delivery, of course, it makes things a little bit more expensive than if you were buying from a neighboring country. Because I'm speaking from a Swiss perspective here. We're a country that is pretty much on its own in terms of importing rules and so on. So whether you import something from the UK or from the US, it actually doesn't make much of a difference in the end, because you need to pay for the deliveries, and you need maybe that's where you can reduce a bit the cost, and then you have to pay for the customs fee if you import something that is above a certain price. So yeah, I'm considering buying from the US right now as well, because prices are a bit cheaper. So if you manage to keep the value under a certain amount, then it might be interesting. And then if you order above that amount, then it's also worth ordering more. And if more is available, like more is available in the US. So I was looking into graded cards the other day. I was looking into a few full arts that I'm currently looking, and I was really considering buying from one of these sellers from the US, because they have more product available, and then you can bulk buy. You buy like for, I don't know, a few hundreds, and okay, yeah, you have to pay the custom fee, but like it's much lower if you get the fee from a bigger order. So yeah, that's the mindset right now.
Here's a question to you. Hearing all of the YouTubers talk about the PWCC auctions, I always felt like that was sort of out of reach, because obviously it being a US based auction, you had to pay those customs fees and the delivery fees. Now that you're looking to buy those cards in the US, will you consider bidding on some of those PWCC auctions?
No, I don't think I'm ready for this yet. But it's really just because I'm not buying this vintage listings that go for really high price right now. But I mean, yeah, I think if I was looking for I don't know, the Munch promos in a nice PSA grade, yeah, I think I would consider that. Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm not super experienced with buying expensive either, so I don't know if there's like a trick. If you cross a certain limit, you get charged even more. I don't know. There might be something. So I need to be a bit careful and maybe experiment a little bit, or at least get information, because experimenting is not always a good thing to do, especially when you're spending this kind of money. But in theory, I should be able to be interested in this kind of listings as well. And you should too.
I think it all depends on how honest the customs papers are to the value of what's inside.
I mean, if you take it for granted that you're going to be charged, it's actually pretty clear. Like the system they have, like you have the handling fees, and then you have the a certain percentage for the VAT and so on that you need to add on top of the product. So it's actually quite easy to calculate. But yeah, it's about finding the right information, because like there's different zones. If you order from certain area of the world, you might have to pay more and so on. So it's a bit complicated. But yeah, I think if I keep the orders below a certain price, that should be fine. I've tried. I think the biggest order I've made right now is around $300, and that resulted into a 40 francs kind of customs fee. So not too bad overall, not too bad.
While we're on the topic of US prices and auctions, PokemonPrice.com is the go-to website to find out whether or not you're paying a good price for a card. Everyone uses it, looking at all of the last sold prices of their PSA cards. But I think there's a real issue looking at that from a European perspective. Because obviously, we've already said there's a much more variety of offers out there in the US, and it looks to me as well that PokemonPrice.com only accounts for US sales. because it's always in dollars, and I could see my sales ever go on there of PSA cards that I've purchased. So I think we need to take those prices with a bit of pinch of salt, because in the UK we definitely pay a bit of a premium just because it's a demand and there's a low supply. So I don't know, how do you feel about using it?
Yeah, when I use it, I just use it as an indicator to see where the price is on average, and then I try to add. I know I need to add a little bit of I don't know, like 20% of the price to be realistic when you import it, and when you add I don't know, the exchange rate and the potential custom fees and so on. So yeah, they're not realistic. I'd say like you need to compare also with what's being sold here, because like we're saying the US is better since earlier, but we have products in Europe as well, and we can find stuff if we're lucky. I have bought a few PSA slabs from the local markets too, and I could find something, and it's actually, I mean, you need to weigh everything in. I think it's worth if the product is rare, if it's not usually available, to look over there. But you're gonna find stuff around here as well. It's just you need a bit more patience, and you might get a little bit disappointed depending on what you're buying as well. So I don't know. Yeah, it's something I usually like. Pokemon prices, I use it like everyone, to get an idea of the trends on the market. It's always nice to see like okay, this card has been on the rise recently, or it's actually been decreasing a little bit, or so on. So that's good to know, like, more about the trend around the card. But like, if you want to know the real price you're going to pay, you actually, I don't know, you're going to check the last sold listings on eBay, or you're going to check Card Market to see what is going on in the secondhand market. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think sometimes it comes down to the auction you're bidding on. The price is determined by the market. If there's a a lot of people bidding on the card, then there's obviously interest in the card. So yeah, it was. I wouldn't say I blindly purchased a card, but I purchased a card where I didn't research enough about the price of it, and that was my first edition Rockets Moltres card. I just sort of a rough idea of what these first edition cards are being sold for in recent sales, and basically just went, right, let's just keep going until we hit around the 400 mark. But luckily it didn't. Went to, was it £372 it went for. But yeah, even at that point, I just it was a bit of a gut instinct. But there's lots of people bidding on that listing as well.
And did you make a good deal in the end? Was it the right price?
I think so. It's one of the most expensive sales out there for the card, but there's been higher sales in the US since of around $475. So yeah, I definitely haven't. I don't think I've been scammed or ripped off. But anyway, I didn't buy the card to flip it. I bought this as a piece to enjoy for years to come. Yeah. And yeah, it is what it is. If it maintains its value, I'll be happy. But in the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. I see it as a cost of buying a piece of art.
True. And that actually leads us perfectly to the next topic, right? We are going to talk about some crazy prices we've seen on eBay recently for singles. I've been looking into some of the Radiant Collection card recently, and we know what's happening right now in the market, that no products are available, and that people are willing to maybe spend a little bit more because they are not going out that much for, get a drink with friends or so on. So they know they have maybe a little bit more budget to spend on this kind of things that they would not necessarily do usually. And yeah, if you check the prices recently, you might be surprised by how high the prices are going for right now. Like this is what I'm showing you right now is so the Charizard uncommon from it's the generation set and it's the subset, the Radiant collection in the generation set, so a set from 2016, and this is an uncommon card, and this I mean it's a Charizard, but it's an uncommon card, and so if you want this card in a mint condition, it's getting a bit harder to find right now. I mean, it's not the rarest set, so you're gonna find listings, but to find it in a good condition, it's getting a bit harder. But I was really baffled like last weekend when I checked the price of this one in particular, which went for £86, which is 105 francs, which I found completely crazy because just a few days ago, the same kind of listing was going for £20, which is 25 francs, and it's like 1/4 of the price. And when I say just a few days before, I really mean a few days before. It was like 4 days before. So in 4 days, I don't know what's happened, but like the market is really gone crazy. If you're shopping on the weekend right now on eBay, you might be making the worst deals of the history of Pokemon cards right now. So this is an example that I saw recently, but there's many others. Did you want to add something?
Yeah, I think what's key here is I think the influence of Instagram as well, not only just poker tubers and stuff like that. Yeah. I'm definitely seeing a hell of a lot more posts around the Radiant collection, and especially around Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard, and you know. People see these posts, I think it opens their eyes up because a lot of people are new investors and collectors, in Pokemon, and they don't even realize. To be honest, I wasn't even aware of this card until you started telling me about the Radiant collection, and I started, looking into the Mew, the Reshiram, and cards from the 2012 Radiant collection, and when I was looking for those, I stumbled across this card, and I was like, wow. It's quite a nice card, but yeah, I think before the recent sales that you just showed, I think it was a card that was definitely being slept on. More eyeballs that people put on these cards.
Exactly, yeah. With no product available right now on the market, I think people are just looking back at what's still available out there, and they are discovering stuff that they might not have before if they were just keeping on buying the Vivid Voltage set or the Shining Fates, Hidden Fates or whatever, and I think that's the reason why some of these cards are getting more popular. And I also had the example of another card that I bought recently. So it's the Kanazawa promo Pikachu that was released in I think November, if I'm not mistaken. So this is a listing from 2 days ago. So this is a US listing. So just to show that it's not a thing that is only going on in the UK. So that card went for $80 on the 1st of February. But if you went back 2 weeks before, the card was going on for $30. So just to show you the trend is not just for a few selected cards, but it's really something that is happening all over the sales on eBay.
Yeah, and it's just crazy. I don't know if you've also noticed the sealed product which this promo comes with is being sold for over $500 now. And Twice Baked Jake, he was saying, if you can get it at $500, that's a bargain. And I was like, wow. That is just insane. If people are
it's completely insane. I remember because I was looking into these products right when they were releasing. I was quite interested in the release of Shiny Starvy, the Japanese set. I think it was at the end of November last year, and I think the box was going for $200 back then, and I was thinking, that's a bit expensive, and it's a Japanese product. I should not buy this. And you see now, like 2 months later, the box is going for over $500 right now. So I mean, it also shows that even for Japanese, it's happening. It's not just for the English cards, which is kind of crazy.
one product I find which is absolutely desirable is the Crobat V box for Shining Star V in Japanese. It's such a beautiful product, and I am so tempted to import that from Japan to get my hands on that.
Yeah, the only issue with this product is that it has only like 4 packs inside or 6 packs, something like that. And
yeah, there's not too many, but I would just love to have that just for the Crobat promo and the box. It's just a stunning piece.
Yeah, it's like pink and green, right? It's very very unique.
It's so nice. Yeah, I'm tempted. I'm tempted to import that one. But
yeah,
I won't hold out. I probably buy too much.
Yeah, it's hard to give you a recommendation. Like the times are crazy right now. It sounds like a bad idea if you ask me, but yeah, there might not be another opportunity to get it at such a low price, because it's the kind of product that doesn't really get reprinted anyway. So I wouldn't really know what to recommend you on this one.
Well, I've definitely taken your advice last week. That was Hidden Fates.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, as everyone knows, Hidden Fates restock and reprint is just being sold for astronomical amounts of money. Even to the point now, retailers are selling the ETB for double the price.
Yeah.
So the recommended retail price in the UK is £52.50 for that specific ETB. And I had to buy one from a retailer for £105, which is double the money. And, it's just insane, really, that, are retailers doing it to combat scalpers? Or are they just going, there's an opportunity here to, double our monies? What's your take on it?
Yeah, it's a hard game, really, because the products, I mean, they're not stupid, the retailers. They are people like us, and they see what's happening behind their back, and they know that scalpers are coming, and that if they sell something for a retail price, it's not the actual customers who are going to get access to the product in the end. So yeah, I guess one of the solutions they have found to solve the scalper issue is to increase artificially the price themselves, because if they increase the price, then the scalpers won't be able to increase it so much. So maybe that will keep them away from the market. I can understand the strategy behind it, and also the fact that they are having very limited stocks. We've talked about Shining Fates, but it's the same for Hidden Fates. There's limited stocks for the resellers. So for them, it's also actually a bad situation, because they cannot sell as much as they would like to, and they cannot make as much revenue as they would like to. So I think it's honestly, it's justified. I'd rather pay a premium price to a reseller than to some scalpers, if I may say, because I don't know. At least it's honest, and I don't know. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard to say. It's
it's hard. Yeah, I understand.
It's a bad situation for everyone, and.
I do feel for the shops and the retailers, because in the end of the day, it could be their record-breaking year for sales, and they just don't have the product to sell it. The demand is there, but yes, I do feel for them.
Yeah, when you saw that video of Randolph mentioning that the suppliers were giving the products directly to fake shops that had made up certain e-commerce website to pretend that they were actually selling the products, and that at the end of the day they are just there to make as much stock as they can and then resell the product as for a premium. It's hard for everyone, right? And
yeah, it's quite, I think, scary. The scariest point for me about all of this is need to get the enthusiasm of kids back into Pokemon. And if they can't get their hands on the product, how are people supposed to sell their gem mint vintage PSA cards for thousands of dollars in the future? I mean, there's no interest in it because the kids of today just can't get their hands on the product.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
how are they supposed to have the nostalgia?
Because we're talking about spending £100 on an ETB right now, but we are collectors. We are older, and we have a little bit more money than the kids who open a pack every week, because that's their pocket money that they get from their parents, and they can buy 1 or 2 packs per week from the supermarket, and we are here discussing these £100 ETBs and saying, yeah, that's the price we're willing to pay for this. So it's true, in a way. We're taking away the market from the hands of the kids, and it's a little bit sad, and it could have some bad consequences, you were just saying.
Yeah, and I would like to actually bring in a point about one of our fellow Instagrammers who we follow, Gorilla. Lee is his name, and he made a post basically having a go at the scalpers, because these scalpers have already somehow got their hands on the General Mills cereal promos in America, and they are selling each packet of cards, which had free cards in each packet, and they're selling it for $60 a pack.
Wow!
And it's just frightening, because and to Lee's point, he said, you really are taking away from kids here, because getting toys in the cereal is like one of the things you do as a kid. Like, it's aimed at kids. So if you're taking that away and scalping it, how are kids supposed to enjoy this?
Yeah. No, definitely. And yeah, it's supposed to be something that makes the kids excited to eat their cereals in the morning, and yeah, no, I get the point, and I mean, these cards are valuable in a way because they are not available worldwide once again, and they are not available for everyone. So yeah, it's hard. It feels again to the dynamic of the fact that the US has access to more products, and I guess there's like if you're the guerrilla guy you were mentioning, I think is from the UK as well, and I guess that's how he heard about it, because some people from the UK were willing to buy these cereals cards because they cannot have access to it in the UK, right? So yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's such a bad situation right now. I've been collecting for 5 months, and we've really hit a low right now. Like in terms of availability, in terms of attitude, I guess, in the community, in terms of hype as well. Like all of the influencers also adding some oil to the fire. We know that Logan Paul is going to come back as well, and so on, and yeah, like it makes you think really, like this little hobby that was just worth a few francs, a few pounds before, and that you just spent a little time here and there aside of your activities, and maybe now you have a little more time for it and so on, but like it's really becoming very difficult to access. It's very becoming something a little bit luxurious somehow. Like we are entering somehow the luxury world right now, given the limited availability and the prices increasing everywhere, and yeah, we're excluding people with lower incomes from the hobby slowly. We are excluding the kids from the hobby slowly as well, and even people like us who are just spending a little bit of money aside from our main revenues on stuff that we like. I might stop buying from at some point if the situation doesn't change. Like, because I'm not going to spend 300 francs on an ETB if that's all that's available in the future. I will just find something else.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? We're always looking to alternatives, aren't we? Because I think we haven't given in to the scalpers. We've always seen, right, once something goes crazy, what's the next thing to look at? What else would we like to add to our collection? That's been obviously Radiant collection cards. It's been Sword and Shield gold cards, and other GX and EX cards. that takes our fancy. Yeah, there are some deals to be had out there, but it's close. It's all just getting so undersaturated, and everything's just been wiped out of the market. And I think you made a very good point the other day about seeing these Pokemon flippers on Instagram, basically just tossing cards around, which are like dream pieces for many people, and they're just throwing it around like just normal piece of cardboard.
Yeah, that's correct. Because they don't see the cards for as a piece of art or as a hobby like we do, but just as a potential value to be made here, and like all these cards and all the things that you dream of on your free time. Some people are just making a business out of it and treating it like it's nothing more than potential value, and it hurts somehow as someone who has affection. When I see my Hondooms, when I see my Reshrams, when I see all of these cards being handled like they are just a potential bill of 500 once it's graded and graded to a 10, like I'm like, fuck, like what's happened to my hobby, and what am I gonna do now? Like, do I still wanna be part of this, because what's left for me really? Like, yeah,
and I do worry sometimes, like are we adding fuel to the fire as well, because we are millennials who have grown up with Pokemon as children. We've been quite successful in our careers so far, and we have that disposable income. And obviously, being in a pandemic right now, we don't have that. We don't have anything else to spend that disposable income on. And yeah, we've got that disposable income to spend on Pokemon. So those scalpers are looking at people like us going, well, they've got some money to spend, they want the cards, but obviously we haven't anything ridiculously overpriced. But you look at what we purchased 6 months ago, a hell of a lot more expensive now.
Yeah,
it goes back to my point about the booster boxes.
We have not backed off yet. Yeah,
exactly. And the prices just keep creeping up. Like, it was a week, me and you basically nearly spent like £1,000 on PSA cards within 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some moments we've been a bit crazy about stuff. Yeah, that's true. Anyways, moving on. I guess we have some lighter topic. Maybe we can take a little break before we continue on unpopular opinions.
Oh. Yeah, I thought this would be quite an interesting topic to go and talk about, because a lot of people, there's a lot of hype. A lot of people go on about what to invest in, how to make £1 million in Pokemon, but what are those areas to us that are not that great, but to others is amazing. And for me, it's amazing rares, and in particular graded amazing rares. In person, and you look at them at an angle and you see all the textured colors, it's just amazing. But when they've been put into a PSA slab, I just find it so underwhelming, and they just don't look that great. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I still find them like really nice looking, but that's really the kind of card that you need to get a little closer to see the details, to really appreciate what they are, and once you put them in the slab, I don't know, it's just as a bigger object. When you put a card in these slabs, like they take more space and so on. Like you take a little bit more distance to it, and I don't know, like I agree, like if you cannot feel the texture, because the obviously the card is behind a piece of plastic, so you cannot touch it anymore, and so on. I think it takes away something. I don't know if I would say they're necessarily a bad idea, but I would say I agree on this with you. Like it takes away something if you put them in a slab like this.
Yeah, it's still a great card, but how amazing rare is and how cool they are. You It's not that, it hasn't got that wow factor when you see it in a graded
that's
slab.
true. That's true.
I don't know, is that because we're so used to seeing all these new full arts in slabs, and we're just so used to seeing the whole card in artwork? I don't know.
No, I think
It's just
I think you've got a point. I think it's because the card is more in the nuance. You know, it's not like so much in your face in terms of the design. That's the kind of card you really, you need to have in your hands to really appreciate it. And it's not like seeing it on the listing. It doesn't really look the same. I'm actually surprised that people have taken a liking for this card in a way, because it's quite subtle. I mean, subtle. It's a it's a bomb of color, but yeah.
But you're right, and I think that subtleness is that it's not full art. And I think what's strange is that it has got that burst of color, but it has those yellow borders.
Yeah.
And I think you see yellow borders more, they're more pronounced in a slab. I think most of the time when they're out of a slab, you're within your hand and you're looking at it much closer.
You're right.
Yeah, for me, it's just underwhelming, and I'm not in any rush to grade my amazing res anytime soon.
Yeah. No, I get your point. And on my side, I had also a unpopular opinion. I think the most overrated card of the moment by far is the Special Delivery Pikachu. I'm not saying that. I mean, I might say that because I'm bitter because I cannot get it. Let's be clear on this. But I think the craze around that card and the upcoming Charizard, Special Delivery Charizard, is just got out of hands, and I think it doesn't deserve. So I put here like some of the prices this card is going for right now, and I just don't get it, because I don't think it's a nice card. I don't think it's a very nice looking card. I think like the background is very plain. Yeah, okay, Pikachu is wearing the clothes from the mailman, but I've seen so many more promos from Pikachu in the past that are so much better than this one. I don't get the craze around this one. For me, it's really typically an example of a hype train, and everybody's like talking about this card and making other people want it as well, and it's like this kind of circle that just never ends. But and in terms of prices, it doesn't make sense either, because it's just such a recent card. Like, there is absolutely no guarantee that this card is not going to be reprinted for another occasion. I think like if you assume that this card is never going to be reprinted right now, you might want to reconsider your opinion, because I mean, I know that it was printed for a special occasion. It was for the opening of the Canadian Pokemon Center, obviously, as it's written here on the slab. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on this card? I know you like it.
I totally see where you're coming from. Again, it's not an amazing full art card, which we're used to now of all these cards and sets like with Champion's Path and whatnot. But for me, really resonates with my year of lockdown Pokemon, because everything we got in life was delivered to us in 2020, and have a card that kind of, it wasn't meant to, but it resembles that time in my life. I think there's quite a bit of value in it for me there. But then again, don't believe in paying these ridiculous prices for it. And you're right, it could definitely be reprinted at any moment, because we're reliving 2020 with lockdown. Like in the UK, we're still in a full lockdown. And yeah, I know it's not the opening of the Canadian Poke Center again, but you know,
yeah,
they just reprint it.
Yeah. And that leaves the question again of how we're going to get our hands on it in Europe, but that's for another episode. I guess we'll have the chance to talk about it when the Charizard is being announced.
Definitely.
So for our last topic of the day, I know you wanted to talk about Pokemon Revolution, PokeRev, who did an interesting poll recently. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, I found this quite interesting. It's obvious, most of these people are going to vote for Pokemon. But in the end of the day, we're in a world where there's many TCGs, not just Pokemon. And I thought it'd be quite interesting to sort of look at this poll result and see, how much of that market share does Pokemon hold amongst the other TCGs.
And that's right.
And,
like, at the moment, we know that Yu-Gi-Oh is actually quite popular, and I was actually super surprised to see that it was only 8% of the people who were voting for Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, I thought there was quite of a kind of a competition. I mean, not on the same level, but yeah, like we are very focused on Pokemon and Pokemon TCG, and we don't really see what's happening in the other TCGs. And yeah, it's interesting to see these results.
And it's definitely, Yu-Gi-Oh is definitely growing. I think we just saw the largest Yu-Gi-Oh sale ever this week. I believe there was a case of Blue Eyes White Dragon boxes sold for over $200,000.
Wow. Okay.
And yeah, in the grand scheme of things, one set first edition box of Pokemon now sells for $400,000, but this was a whole case of booster boxes. So it's still it's still a bit of a way to go, but it's definitely growing. And who knows, we're in 6 months, see where those values go. But yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh was a massive part of my childhood growing up. I probably had a larger Yu-Gi-Oh card collection growing up, and I really. Yeah, I loved Yu-Gi-Oh. I found it a TCG which was far simpler than Pokemon.
Okay.
Because of my age, I don't know. But yeah, I really loved Yu-Gi-Oh. But yeah, Pokemon holds a small part of me. I just love Pokemon as well. But yeah, I don't have.
I actually. Sorry. Sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, I don't have any experience with the other TCGs. I've never bought any Digimon, Dragon Ball, or Magic the Gathering. So I don't know. Have you purchased any of these TCGs?
Yeah, I actually grew up playing Magic the Gathering much more than Pokemon as well. I started with Pokemon when I was a little kid, and I had my cousin to play on the weekends together. But growing up, I got away from Pokemon completely. Like that's the kind of thing, like you're 10 years old and then you grow and you're 14, and then when you're 14 you're like, yeah, that's for when I was a kid. Like, I'm not doing that anymore. So I wanted something that was a bit more adult, and I went through to Magic the Gathering, and but never as a collecting hobby, really as a TCG, as something that I would play games with my family, play games with some of my friends, and actually stuck with it for quite a while. I think 2 or 3 years. I was playing it every summer with my friends and family, and also eventually got away from it. But yeah, I think Magic the Gathering had never really been so much of a collection kind of a hobby, but more really a playing. You really want to make the best decks and best strategies and stuff. I think it's a bit deeper than what Pokemon has to offer. You have much more diversity, I think, in the kind of decks that you can build, and I think that's why it's such a beloved game to play, and not so much of a game to collect.
Yeah, it's just it's a whole new world for me. I don't even think I've held a Magic card.
Really? Yeah.
Let alone.
Well, actually, I think Pokemon was invented pretty much on the base of Magic the Gathering. You have pretty much the same idea of having an attacker, and then you have the energies in Magic the Gathering. It's the fields that you collect and that you need to use in order to activate the powers of your creatures, and so kind of, I think Pokemon has been thought as a simpler version of Magic the Gathering because it was made by Wizards of the Coast, right? So I don't know if the rules were invented. I don't know actually the origins of the Pokemon TCG, but I wouldn't be surprised if Wizards of the Coast had a heavy influence on the rule.
Well, the very first Pokemon TCG cards were printed with a white background and a Magic the Gathering background.
I remember.
It was only recently one of those Blastoise cards were sold on heritage auctions. I believe it went for something like $360,000, something like that.
Correct. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Yeah, so we might be onto something without even knowing, but yeah. All right, that was the last topic for today. So it's that time when we thank you for having followed the Pokemon Teatime with us. We invite you to, of course, subscribe to the channel if you have not done already, and to like this video. That would help us, of course. We're just getting started, so we're going to need all the help that we can get to reach out to more people. That was Mr. Houndoom on Instagram. So if you want to follow me, I'm Mr. Houndoom on Instagram.
And yeah, I'm the Pokemon Noob on Instagram. And yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. And we hope to see you again.
Yeah, we'll schedule, of course, other podcasts for the future, but we don't know yet when. It's gonna come, but just stay tuned and you will see. Thank you very much once again, and talk to you in the next one. Thank you, Sean. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.